Hi, welcome to Live with Evelyn. Thank you for joining us. Today I have as my guest Victor Ariola. He's a loan officer with Eagle Home Mortgage. Thank you for being here, Victor.
Well, thanks for having me, Evelyn.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you. Just tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about Home Mortgage, Eagle Home Mortgage.
Yeah, definitely. I came from Mexico. My family was born in Mexico.
Okay.
So came over here, chasing the American dream like everybody else has, either home ownership and legalization. So me getting into mortgages is actually me giving back to the community, what gave to me as far as us actually um, being able to buy a home and to fulfill the home ownership like everybody else is chasing, not only for first-time home buyers, but anybody across the board who feels that, they accomplished home ownership.
Wonderful. That's good to know because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to having that dream of home ownership and, for whatever reason may think that it's very distant or that it's really completely out of their reach. And that's why, we want to stress that you just need to reach out, to someone and have a great team working for you so that, as a team, we can make that dream happen for you.
Yeah.
Now, what type of loans do you offer through Eagle Home Mortgage?
Well, Eagle Home Mortgage is basically, we do a wide variety of product lines. Every customer is different. So we definitely put them in a product that fits their criteria, whether it be credit score, whether it be down payment, whatever needs to be done, we have a product for them to fit them in there. So there's not a product out there that we don't have to put them. It's just a matter of putting the puzzle together.
Wonderful. So it's not a cookie cutter operation. You have, the specific information for the potential client, and then you cater it to serve the client.
Exactly. Certain needs, different clients have different needs, different programs. Maybe we can put them in one for a short period of time, and then after something happens, we can move them up to another product.
Wonderful. So tell me a little bit about conventional versus FHA, for example.
Yeah, definitely. Conventional is pretty standard across the board. It's 5% down. The the housing limit is 417 on that conventional. Credit score is a minimum 640 FICO score, and 5% down. Pretty standard across the board. Great program for maybe not the first-time home buyer, but also if a first-time home buyer has saved money for a while, it is a good program to get them in there. Different beneficials to do a conventional loan. An FHA is basically for a borrower who's a first-time home buyer who maybe doesn't have enough money for the 5% down. On the 5% down, it's hard to get up. On an FHA, it can be gifted from a family, friend, or relative who can put that as a down payment for the house. And also, the FICO scores are less. Maybe you had a problem, a couple years ago where you was a little late on your car payment or your credit card. Your credit's a little bit blemished, but you also be able to get the same rate as a conventional, if not even better as a conventional. So the FHA, it all, fits into whatever bracket you're in or what you want to be accomplished for a mortgage.
Wonderful. And of course, you have loans to help our veterans that have, served our country as well.
Oh, yes. We do all branches of the military. There's a 100% loan out there. And there's also, you can use the VA entitlement more than once. People think just because I own a home, I can never use it again. That is false. You can use it as long as you have entitlement. You can buy a house more than once.
Wonderful, great to know.
Even spouses of surviving veterans can also use the VA loan.
See, that's great to know. I'm sure there's a lot of people, that forget about that, or they're perhaps not aware of it.
Yeah, that's a perfect program. It's VAs, obviously. There's no MI, low down payment. It's 100% loan. Great program.
And what about USDA loans as well?
USDA loan's another great program. It's also it's government-based loan, which basically it's 100% loan. You can add in the closing costs and all that stuff into the loan. Basically, what a USDA loan is anything that is outside of a city limit, which is probably anything outside of Tampa city limits, would be Pasco. Anything outside of Tampa city limits would be eligible for USDA. USDA is a great program. Not only is it beneficial for no down payment and no MI, but low MI, and it's also beneficial for that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I understand there's a fairly new loan right now, which is back to work loan for people that have history of short sale or bankruptcy or foreclosure. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a phenomenal program. It's for people who basically who were fine on their mortgage payments and say they had a hardship, which whether it be a loss of income from either the spouse or another, where you lose it for 20% of your income for 6 months, and say the hardship happened at that time, and then after you lost your home through a short-term foreclosure, basically after you've had the foreclosure, after a year passed, you reestablished your credit. um, FHA will allow you to buy a home with 3.5% down, and an interest rate is going to be just as good as any rate out there in the market.
It's I think it's phenomenal that we have so many options that we're able to offer to a potential buyer, because my goal is to make sure that people are aware when you have that idea, that inclination that you want to go out and put yourself on the market and start looking for a home, how vital it is to have a team working for you to make sure that you're not overwhelmed, make sure that everything that should be done is being done on your behalf, and to expedite and be able to streamline the process. That's very important.
Yeah, it is important. Like I said, once you meet a certain client, not every product fits the product the most. So that's why it's very important to get in front of clients and read the whole picture. Just because they had something in the past doesn't mean they can't buy it right now. Or maybe they had a problem in the past, and maybe we can help them to get from here to there. Maybe people don't know how to begin, and that way we can show them a path to home ownership again or for the first time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, go a little bit into VA jumbo loan versus jumbo loans.
Yeah, VA jumbo loan is another 100% loan. We go up to 1.5 million, but the credit score on that is you have to have a 720 mid score to be eligible for the jumbo loan. It's a great program. Also, you can use your entitlement for the VA. Jumbo.
Okay, wonderful. Now, once someone gets approved, what follows that? Once you approve a client for their
Once
loan?
I approve the client, I will definitely, to get the approval first, you would actually have to. There's three components of getting approved for a loan. Obviously, you wouldn't have to run your credit, make sure that your credit score is in line. You ever had any late on it? We're also going to make sure that you have no judgment or any outstanding debt collections. The second of it is capacity. Basically, we're going to see if you're eligible to buy the home, see how much you can afford. Maybe you want to buy a house for $250,000, and say your debt to income ratio, which basically doesn't allow you to do that. So you get to find out exactly what you can buy. The third of all is continuation of income. Basically, we're going to look at what's the outlook of you're going to be able to make the mortgage payments past a year or 3 years or 5 years or 10 years down the road. That's how we look up the pre-approval of somebody and see what all of it comes together and see what you can actually get approved for.
Excellent, excellent. Now, once they find a home, what's next? What's the next step?
The next step is basically you would come back to you would write a purchase agreement. I would get the contract back, and then you would come back into my office, and then we would see what the actual interest rate is for that day. If either be FHA, VA, jumbo, all these rates are basically different based on loan program, and then we would lock you in, and then you would actually wait 30 days. The appraisal will be done, title work will be done, and that's how it goes after that.
Unbelievable. A lot of great information. And what about after the closing, after someone actually closes? What happens? What's
After
the next
the
step?
closing, basically what we do is we'll sit down after the closing, after you sit down and sign all the paperwork, get you back the keys. We will sit down with you and say, okay, your first payment's going to be on this date. And then we are, as Eagle Home Mortgage, what we do, we have a 5-year program where we keep in touch with you and tell you how yours going, any problems, anything like that. So Eagle Home Mortgage has a 5-year program where we keep in touch with you after you purchase your home.
See, that to me is music to my ears, because you want to be able to have a company on your side that's not only going to get you to what your goal is, but to be able to still communicate with you even after you've purchased your home. They want to make sure, that everything is going smooth. You may want to make changes. Maybe, they want to, have their college, kids have their own space, things can change. In 5 years, I know in 1 year a lot of things can change, let alone in 5 years. So it's nice to have a company that is still thinking of you after the fact.
Yes, we prefer to have a lifelong relationship and a long life customer with here at Eagle Home Mortgage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, just for my curiosity, what is your turnaround if someone needs to get pre-approved?
Pre-approval can be in 24 hours, less than that. As long as I have what I need to get you approved, which is basically your W-2s and your tax returns and cash to close. What I mean, that's what you have in the bank as far as assets for the down payment. We do that in less than a day, a couple hours. That's
Wonderful, wonderful. A lot of very important information, and we're going to be sharing Victor Ariola's information. Again, he's with Eagle Home Mortgage, located here in Tampa, Florida, but he can actually help you regardless of where you're at, or refer you to one of his associates elsewhere. So it's been a pleasure to have you here today.
Well, thanks
a lot
for having
of great
me.
information, and stay tuned. We'll be having the same information again in Spanish for our Spanish viewers. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank TalkWatt Studios, to thank Keller Williams Realty, my broker there in New Tampa, Florida, on Bruceby Downs, as well as Nicole over at Lancome here in Tampa, and my producer, Chris, here at TalkWatt Studios. So stay tuned. We are about to have the program in Spanish, and as well as next week, every Tuesday between 1 and 2, I will have awesome guests discussing different topics related indirectly as well as directly with real estate. So.